Hello Fairfield, I'm the chair of the Measure P Citizen Oversight Committee. My name is Marilyn Farley. This is the committee that you asked the city to put in place when we passed the voter-approved local tax measure in 2012. We are a committee of 5 citizens who meet regularly to ensure transparency, review city audits, and provide oversight to the spending of your tax dollars. I recently reported our findings to the City Council and am now here to report to you. Before I launch into a summary of this first report, I'd like to introduce my fellow committee members. They are Lisa Haudeschelt, Rochelle Sherlock, Tim Tomko, and Sean Byrne. These are the folks that are helping to provide oversight for your precious tax dollars. To summarize, I will cover how much revenue has been raised through the voter-approved measure, how it is being used, and where we're headed from here. First, we reviewed the city's audits for 2012-13 and 2013-14 and verified that the measure had raised $3.6 million in the last 3 months of fiscal year 13 and $16 million in fiscal year 14. Your voter-approved funding now comprises 20% of our city general fund. This is the fund that pays for most city services. Through this review, the committee recommended that the auditors give a clear name to the revenue generated by Measure P, so any citizen can identify it. The separated line item is called Voter-Approved Transaction and Use Tax. This voter-approved transaction and use tax is projected in the city budget to generate $15.4 million this current fiscal year. Second, our committee examined whether your tax dollars are being used in accord with the voters' direction to the city. Our short answer is yes. Public safety, restoring services to our residents, street improvements, building a rainy day fund. Yes, 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 and yes. The majority of the revenue, just as you asked, is going to protect our city through public safety services and programs. 23% has been used to restore general services and services for youth and seniors, including the Alan Witt Aquatic Center, the Senior Center, and the Matt Garcia Youth Center. And the city is aggressively rebuilding reserve funds to prepare for the future. Lastly, the committee has recognized that our voter-approved funds are helping to shore up areas that had been put on the back burner for several years. A great example of this is Fairfield's largest asset, our streets. We have 690 miles of lanes in town and should be spending about $13 million annually to maintain our streets. Prior to Measure P, we were only spending $2.5 million. As a result of Measure P, we are now spending about $4 million annually for upkeep. While this still falls far below the necessary funding, Public Works is trying to stretch every dollar as far as possible to protect this asset. For every quarter we invest today, we will save $10 in the future. As Measure P Oversight Committee members, we have concluded that in the short term, this voter-approved tax measure is helping maintain our residents' quality of life. However, in the long term, we are uncertain how the city will maintain existing levels of service and healthy reserves. It is not too soon to start thinking about a strategy for funding basic services for our citizens when Measure P expires in early 2018. I will be back to report to you next year on our progress with our local voter-approved funding.